Hello, welcome to another Matchbook Goodwood and Galway preview. Two comfortable favourite winners from Matchbook's Mihal Deasy yesterday, while at the races, Declan Rix also came to the party, shrewdly tipping up Sir Dancealot in the Lennox Stakes. You can see both gentlemen there on the screen. You can be a small bit smoked today, guys, but I think today we're going to scale it back a small. We're going to look at three races today, two from Goodwood, one from Galway, and I think we're going to have plenty of value. So don't let me down, gentlemen. Let's first of all look at the Sussex Stakes. Betting here, 2.22 is the current favourite, too darn hot. Circus Maximus at 5.1. Phoenix of Spain at 7.4. Lord Glitter 6.6 and is 26 to 1 bar. Rixy, talk to me first of all about too darn hot here. Won at Deauville a couple of weeks ago. Justifiable favourite to me. This doesn't seem kind of right. Obviously, given Circus Maximus beat him a few weeks back.
Yeah, I think he is the right favourite. Whether or not there's much juice in his price now is maybe another thing. You know, he was a big talking horse coming into the season. Obviously, he was last season's champion juvenile, and you know he looked maybe kind of one of the better juveniles we've had since Frankel, to be honest. Well, if you believe that the BHA ratings at the end of the season, that was certainly the case they were putting forward. But look, things haven't gone to plan with him. He threw a splint before the Guineas. He missed that race. And then I think he had a bit of a rush preparation to go to the Dante. Then after the Dante, they backed him up quick to run in the Irish Guineas. And then after the Irish Guineas, then they ran him in the St. James's Palace Stakes. And like, to be fair to the horse, he's done a lot of dancing already. And, you know, while he hasn't kind of come up to the level maybe he was at last season, at Deauville last time, he probably was in and around his best. And for me, it was probably just a slight career best, actually. So, yeah, I think he's in some ways that the horse has been a victim of the BHA rating he got at the start of the season, and just a victim of, you know, kind of the hype machine. And, you know, we all see it in different kind of sports. You know, once the headlines come out and people start talking, you know, punters tend to latch on to these horses, and, you know, just the hype machine just gets going. I think all of that kind of affected him, to be honest. And but like, to be fair to the horse, like I said, he's had plenty of runs this season already. He's always run well, to be fair. And then last time was probably a career best. So this is going to be another test for him, because he's stepping up again. He's stepping up and tripped to a mile again today. Last time it looked like 7 furlongs was absolutely perfect for him. So yeah, I know why you say he was beaten by Circus Maximus at Ascot. Ascot's a much stiffer track now. And if you go back and you stop the tape 1 furlong out, he looked like he was travelling all over him, and he actually hit the front maybe with about 200 yards to go, and he was swallowed up late. So I can see the point you're making about Circus Maximus anyway, especially at the prices.
Enough concern there with the amount of rain that fell at Goodwood yesterday, Rixy?
It wouldn't have been ideal, because when he won at Deauville the last day, the ground was pretty quick. And the times were slow. They weren't slow. They were probably good to soft times. It just, every kind of drop of rain that fell, it means that the limits of his stamina are going to be brought out, and that makes him potentially a little bit vulnerable, especially if they go hard.
DC, I think you're kind of keen enough to take on.
Yeah, I just, like, for everything Rixy said there now as well, but like, I just thought that a mile and kind of softish ground probably wouldn't be his ideal conditions. Like, I was his biggest fan at the start of the year. I tipped him for the Dante, and I tipped him for the Irish Guineas, and I thought he ran very well in the Dante. He just, I think maybe 7 furlongs is his thing. Maybe he was just well ahead of them last year, and if they've caught up with him this year, I know that, like, people said that Phoenix of Spain physically is much bigger this year, and that's where he found the improvement to win at the Curragh. I wouldn't be fancying too darn hot in this now at all. I think that, especially at the price, I think he's very short. But there has been money for him.
There's a lot to take him on. Lord Glitters as well at Phoenix of Spain, who's been a personal favourite of yours.
Yeah, this is. I think it's a kind of a strange market, because you have the top 3 in the market are all 3-year-olds, and they've all beaten each other at one time or another. And then you have, like, the likes of Lord Glitters and the rest of them, like, they're all older horses. Lord Glitters the juice has gone out of his price. He's been tipped by every tipster going overnight, and has been well punted because of that. And rightly so. I think he was third in this last year. I mean, we all know about the win in Ascot now this year. Tipped up by Mr. Declan Rix down the bottom there, and Sully was running around the office shouting and running your name for days after that.
That's most days DC.
Yeah. So like I think he's a great chance there. But I'm going to go with Circus Maximus. I think that he's had 2 good wins this year now. I thought he was very good in the D Stakes, and he was very good at Ascot. And like when he won at Ascot, I was there sitting there like, I mean, he was supplemented. They obviously thought he had a chance back down to a mile. I think that this mile won't take as much getting as Ascot, but I think, I mean, they've put up the money for him again today. I think he's about 5.1. I think that's a nice juicy price. Not sure about Phoenix Spain. I think he might have just had a real good going day, and like I had fancied him for the 2,000 guineas itself. Didn't have enough on him for the Irish guineas. I just said I'd throw a small bit on him, and he duly done it. But like, he was so bad at Ascot. Don't know about Charlie has his farm either. So I think Circus Maximus is the one for me at about 5.1.
Rixy, how would you attack this round one from betting angle?
I think because Too Darn Hot has taken so much out of the market, I think it's a race to have an each way bet at. And like I don't mind betting around 4 to 1, 5 to 1 each way in these kind of races. So I don't think Too Darn Hot has enough in hand to suggest that he should be that sort of price. So look, I'm actually going to put up Lord Glitters again. I know there's been plenty of money for him overnight, but I'm sure there's been the market's been chipping away at him now for maybe the last 5 or 6 days. I get the feeling that he's in good form at home, and they're very happy with him. He was very unlucky in this race last year when they didn't go strong enough. I think if Circus Maximus is going to win, he has to go hard out in front, because I'm not sure he's a speed miler. The mile at Ascot suited him because it's a very stiff track. Phoenix of Spain likes to be up there up front as well, so I'm hoping he'll help press the pace, and Too Darn Hot will maybe sit in behind him, and I'm hoping the 3 of those will potentially take each other on, and Lord Glitters can come late and pick up the pieces. But I think, if people just wanted to have a decent bet in this race place only, I'd probably be looking at Lord Glitters. I think the race is going to set up well for him. The rain that fell yesterday is going to be good for him, so I'm hoping he can do us a favour again.
Yeah, shades of odds on for Lord Glitters right now in the place market 1.9, and it's a lovely 8-runner race, guys. So you get those 3 places. We love those ones. Let's move back towards the Malcolm Stakes at 3 o'clock. Liberty Beach, the favourite here, 2.5. Maven at 6.0. Hand on My Heart, 12.0. Air Force Jet, Joseph Burns Runner at 14.0, and Alligator Alley also at 14.0. Rixy, I'll stay with you for this one again. 3 of 4 starts for Liberty Beach. She's won, and she had a 4th place at Ascot. Only justifiable favourite here, just from what I'm looking at.
Yeah, look, she probably is. She ran well at she ran well at Royal Ascot in the Queen Mary when she was probably on the wrong side of the track compared to the market leaders. Then she bolted up at Sandown, to be fair to her. She went through that race she enjoyed getting back on the quicker ground, and she travelled through it well. It all set up nice for her, and she made no mistake. She bolted up. The only thing I would potentially say with her is her 2 best pieces of form have come at Ascot, and they've come at Sandown over 5 furlongs. Those are pretty stiff tracks now. And the Goodwood 5 furlongs is a rapid 5 furlongs. It's pretty sharp. I think for nearly the majority of the second furlong, or for a good chunk of it anyway, you're running downhill there. So it's going to really suit speed horses. I just wonder, could she get a little bit out of her ground today and flash home and maybe not get there? So I think at the prices, I think there's maybe enough there to suggest the track mightn't show her to her very best. She's going to be taking on colts again this time. She's going to be taking on much better colts. So I think there's probably just enough maybe to take her on at the prices. I tend not to bet these horses at these prices in general. And if I do, everything needs to be in your favour. Because look, this is horse racing at the end of the day. So many things can go wrong. So the real tactic is always to try and take these on. And sometimes you're fighting against the wind. I was going to say something else into the wind, trying to take them on, but and you look a bit silly. But I think I'm thinking there's enough in that this track might not suit her to show her very best to take her on at the prices.
Does the winner come from the second one here? So maybe seems to have great pedigree, this one.
Yeah, no, he's an American Pharaoh horse. Obviously, American Pharaoh Triple Crown winner in the States a few years ago. Has since been bought by Coolmore, I think, to stand is down in Australia and in America. He's going to be a big time sire for Coolmore going forward. It looks like they've invested heavily in him. He's an American horse, so he's Wesley Ward. I think that the speed nature of this track will really suit him because he's a horse who likes to get out in front, jump quick and go. The only thing with him is all these American horses, they tend to run on kind of really flat tracks. And he's another one, you just wonder how will he handle the kind of the downhill section with it. Will he get a bit unbalanced? You know, we're dealing with very young horses here. You know, if they get a fright or something like that, they can put the brakes on and not run to their potential. So, look, I think in these kind of 2-year-old races, I'm always looking for kind of experience. I think experience in class is always a good mix. And I'm actually going to go for Air Force Jet here, Joseph O'Brien's horse. He really impressed me on debut this year when he just knotted into second. He got the job done then in messy circumstances second time out, and then he was disappointed at Royal Ascot. Last time at Tipperary when he got back on some quicker ground on a speed track. Tipperary 5 furlong track is pretty rapid now. It'll be similar to Goodwood. I'm hoping he's got a bit to find on form now, to be fair, but I think the key to this horse could be getting a lead and getting some cover because he's very quick. He's very, very quick. So I'm hoping Oisin Murphy, Maven, and a lot of those maybe to the front of the mark would go out and set the race up from Oisin Murphy can ghost in behind, streamline through, and maybe pick up the pieces late. So in terms of a value bet, I'd rather be backing him at that kind of price than the favourite at around 5 to 4, 6 to 4.
Yeah, 13.5 currently on Air Force Jet here at Matchbook. Micheál, Deasy, you're going to go against Rixy here a small bit. I think you're liking the favourite in this one.
Yeah, everything Rixy said there was just like a dart into my heart and just setting me up for a fall. I was going through this race now last night, and I just thought that Liberty Bell's last spin was the best bit of form in the race. She won by 3.5 lengths. She absolutely bolted away from the last furlong. Now, I didn't actually know that Sandown was a stiff finish, so I totally take that on board. At the same time, 2.5, I wouldn't be too mad to be piling into her because for everything he said, like these are young horses. Though I know I was fairly sweet between a 2-boy yesterday, but I thought he was a freak in nature. The horse I'm going for is the other filly in the race, Hand in My Heart, Clive Cox's horse. I saw her debut at Windsor, where I thought she was incredibly impressive. She was really professional. She got out of the gate fast, got the rail, and just stayed there, kept going, dictated from the front, and won snugly enough from Separate, Richard Hannon's horse. I think he's rated about 96 now or something. I thought it was a great run. She was in my tracker ever since, and saw her in this last week, and she was marked up at about 20 to 1, 25 to 1. Now she's been fairly well backed since declarations came out because Ryan Moore was on her. Ryan Moore with Clive Cox, they have a serious record, especially on 2-year-olds. He doesn't book them for no reason at all. And he had positive yesterday, ran a huge race behind Pinatubo in the vintage stakes. Again, he was only after 1 run. So he obviously has his 2-year-olds in good order. Hand on My Heart, I think, is 11.0, is it 12.0, son?
12.0 currently, yeah. Yeah,
I think well worth a go at her. Like she came around the bend at Windsor. She's going to be in the straight track today. I think she's related to Heartache and a few other good sprinters that he's had. I think she's a cracking bet for a win in the place at about 11.0, 12.0.
Sounds good. This is one of my favourite days of this week because obviously Goodwood finishes up and we're straight into Galway. And obviously the feature of Galway is 7:20 tonight at Galway Plate. And this one is an absolute minefield. But there's some quality horses here too at the same time. Let's have a look at the betting currently at Matchbook. We're talking 9.0 the favourite for East, but I'll be honest, I don't know how you make a favourite in this one. 12.0 Pile on the Pressure. Move with the Times, big gamble overnight, also 12.0. Deasy, one of your favourites, Coney Island, 13.0. Snugspur Benny, big price here at Matchbook at 14.0. Barra, 18.0. and one you like Rixy just under Barra is 16.0 is Black Curtain. Deasy, I'll come to you first there because I think this one is kind of a race that kind of fascinates you, and it's always been like Gordon Ellis won 2 of the last 3, but it's always been a race that you can get the winner from anywhere.
Yeah, it's a grand easy race to go through. So like, I mean, I was thankfully enough I had nothing to do yesterday or the day before, and I could spend hours and hours and hours going through all of this. Like, but it's a tough race. Like, I mean, Burry's their favourite. I think he's basically favourite because Gordon Ellis has kept his back down by running him over hurdles and just keeping him fit. He's over from France. Don't really know much about him. But again, like, there's some great horses in here, and like, it's a handicap as well. You're not going to, like, in the summer, I don't know, there's loads to it. So I narrowed it down to a few horses that I want to take a swing at. So the first one is Snugsborough Benny. Snugsborough Benny had a little pipe up there a few weeks ago at Killarney. I was given a tip from there a few weeks ago. They said that he was going to go to Killarney and just have a run around to get him spot on for this. Now, he was probably best seen finishing 4th in the Irish Grand National behind Border Saint. Good run that day. I think he was fairly well punted that day. So there's been a bit of money for him. He hasn't been massively punted. No, I think he's, just get the price up here now. What did you say he was? He's about 14.0, so is he? Snugsborough Benny.
He's actually small bigger. He's actually
15.5. Yeah, I think, like, I mean, most of the horses in this are going to have been laid out for it. But I think that he will definitely stay the trip. He has good course form. He won the Blazers handicap here last year by a good few lengths. 9 years old. I think he's a grand weight, like Dennis O'Regan as well. He'll have him waiting out the back, and he'll have a good run up the hill. So I think 15.5. He's a nice one to have on my side for a win in the place bet. And the other one is Barra. Gordon Ellis Barra. She's way down the bottom of the waist. Now, she had a bad fall there a few weeks ago at Kilbeggan when she was miles clear, and she was actually raised 4 pounds despite the fact that she fell and didn't win the race, which I thought was pretty lousy. But her first chase was this time last year. I think it was on 20th of July last year, and she bolted up. She was always a good hurdler. I always liked her. She's kind of, I don't think she's won a lot of races, but she's always run well in the big race that she's been in. And again, she's been supported overnight. She was 21.0 yesterday. I think she's into about around the same price as Snugsborough Benny there now. She's 16.0. So I'm going to put up the 2 of them. Small win bet and nice place bets.
All right. Declan Ricks. There's a couple of British traders here, and I kind of tipped my hat there a while ago saying Black Curtain was the one you fancied. So why Black Curtain?
Yeah, just this year's Galway play, I think, is it's a pretty bad renewal, to be honest. So you generally every year or every second year, whatever, you get kind of last season's good novices coming through that will, kind of have a marking around maybe kind of the 150s, the low 150s, the high 148s that you think could be well handicapped, and then maybe go on and progress into a graded performer later in the season. But I just don't see any horse like that in this year's lineup. I really don't. Down through the years there, I think the likes of Road to Riches have won this, gone on to run very well in gold cups. I just don't see that horse in there. I suppose kind of that in terms of looking for that profile, Mengele Khan would be that horse because he's running. He was a decent novice last year, and he's now running in a handicap. But I don't think Mengele Khan's going to stay. I don't think he's going to like the quick round either. And he's actually one I'd be looking to lay in a place if money came from. I don't know what he is in the place market there. You can let us know in a few minutes. But I'd be looking to take on. So look, I just think Black Curtain, he's got top weight to carry, but I think of all those kind of to the top of the weights, his mark is fairest. I think he's rated 158. I've had him running in and around that level quite consistently for a long time now. Going right-handed seems to suit him. All his best form seems to have come at Sandown and Ascot in England, 2 right-handed tracks like Galway. And the other thing at Galway as well, he's a prominent racer. I like these horses who race up at the pace, especially now that the ground is going to get quick. I was going over the race last night. Black Curtain, Prav Laguna, Bo Reese, Ravenhill. They're all the kind of horses that will like to make the running potentially. So ideally, I'd love Bryony Frost to sit maybe second or third, chase a strong gallop, and really leave his class come to the fore. He's a good horse, but it's a strange race. Just in terms of class, I don't think it's a good renewal. The other kind of strange factor I thought was there's a lot of horses here I don't think will stay, And then there's quite a few horses as well who look like they won't have the pace for the trip. They should be running over maybe, kind of 3.5 miles, those kind of trips. So, look, he's got top weight to carry. It's going to take a huge effort to do it. But, look, he's trained by the right man, Paul Nichols. Bryony Frost is unbelievable with these chasers, getting them into a rhythm, getting them to jump. Black Court has been one of her flagship horses that's kind of really launched her career. And, I'm hoping that kind of fairy tale story can continue today for the two of them.
Yeah, and you'd imagine they're not just bringing her over here or him over here for a run too, Rixy. I mean, like, they've obviously got this laid out for a few months now.
No, the Galway air is fresh, but the money is even fresher, I'd say.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah, no, it's fair enough.
I'd be looking to play him kind of each way now. And probably more so kind of maybe 60-40 or 70-30 in the place market, something like that, because I just think if I had to put one horse in the play spot to place in the race, it would be him.
Yeah, and I think you were talking about Mengley Khan there as well. I think you should be able to lay him about 2.4, 2.5 for a place. So
really, how many places is that?
I think it's about 4 exit ones.
Oh, I think that's a bet.
Yeah,
I really do.
There you go, and you can do that at Matchbook. Of course, laying for places, not a bad option. Right, this is the fun part. This is what we all love. Best bets of the day. Mr. Declan Ricks, I will start with you first, sir.
If I had to give one bet, I think it would be, the nap would be, I think, Black Horton to hit the frame in the Galway plate.
Micheál Deasy?
I'll go for Circus Maximus in the Sussex Stakes.
Okay, I'm kind of with you on that one. I want to lay it too darn hot at anything below 2.2. And press that lay button would be my advice. Right, gentlemen, we have one more to go tomorrow. What have we got? The Galway Hurdle. Looking forward to
Galway Hurdle tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow, yeah, and we've a couple more races at Goodwood also. Always been a pleasure, and thank you for watching. And if you haven't got a Matchbook account, we would like to get involved in the action today. A £10 risk-free bet is all yours if you sign up at matchbook.com today. Enjoy the racing.